This video is going to talk about the difference between a remake of a crown versus a replacement crown. Replacement crown, that is when a patient comes in, they already have a crown from another office, or maybe we did it 5+ years ago. That's going to be a replacement crown. It doesn't matter if the tooth has got decay underneath it, it's fractured, there's a crack line going through it. Those cases are going to be replacement crowns because they used to have a crown there that was working fine for many years, 5+ years, and now is getting replaced with a different crown. It's when they come in with a problem with the tooth or with a crown that's been placed under 5 years, that's when we're going to call that a remake. The difference is because a remake is being done under warranty, and so we're not charging the patient for that. Now, that's important when we talk about the lab, because the lab is going to charge us in some instances that they're not. And so we have to make sure we're very clear with the lab what we're telling them regarding this crown. Some examples here you'll see on these different fractures. You can have a line going through the middle of a crown right here. You can have a piece of porcelain break off. You can have an entire crown completely come off the tooth. Or again, here's a back tooth with a chunk of porcelain that's come off. These will all be situations where we have to go in and that crown has to be taken off and a new one put on. So let's just assume in any one of these 4 cases, which none of these are mine, by the way, these are ones just gotten off the internet, but those crowns need to be replaced. If it's under 5 years, we call that a remake. So the information the lab needs will be the following. They need to know, well, first of all, use the term remake, okay? They need to know that we're doing this crown, it's a remake. Now, we just said that our policy at Cross Timbers is 5 years. Labs, they have a different warranty. It might be less than 5 years, but we're going to put it down as a remake, and then we're going to supply them with the other information so they can determine if they need to bill us or not bill us. So first of all, the word remake needs to be on there, okay? If it's a replacement crown, there's no need to say replacement or remake. It's a whole different crown just starting fresh, okay? But if it's within 5 years, we're going to use the word remake both in the chart and on the lab slip. Second, we're going to put in the date the original crown was prepped. Again, if it's a remake crown, but it's something we've done in our office, of course, we can look that up. If this patient has had this crown less than 5 years, but it was done at another office, well, obviously they're not getting a warranty from us. That's something they'll have to deal with their insurance about. But if it's one that's in our office, we have to put down what the prep date was for that case. And then the reason for the remake. Is it because there's a fracture? Is it because there's an open contact, an open margin? Is it because, the shade was off? We could get a crown in, try it in, and know right then that the crown has to be remade. We could have just immediately send it back to put the patient's temporary back in. We have to let the lab know what the problem is that needs to be corrected. But we've already seated the crown. If it's already been in place, the patient's been using it for a while, under 5 years, and something happens, and now the crown has to be redone, we have to, again, put down those different things that we were talking about. And then just to kind of highlight what that this is a remake, we can make it easier. Of course, we're going to put it on the lab script, but to make it easier for the lab, if it's a paper script, if you're sending in, say, an impression, you got a paper lab script, you're going to actually highlight the word remake. If it's an iTero scan, you're going to type in all caps remake. This will give the lab kind of a heads up on what this is exactly, and then they can, like I said, bill us appropriately. So we just want to make sure that we are not getting charged from the lab for something that they should not be charging us for if it's a case that's under warranty. So again, replacement crown, that's just us doing a new crown on somebody that's beyond 5 years. A remake is under 5 years, and then, of course, telling the lab exactly all the conditions of why the crown needs to be remade so they know how to bill us appropriately. So hopefully this has been helpful. Thanks.